Hello, welcome to Star Power Alchemy YouTube. My name is Alejandra Sofia, bringing to you the astrological news from the macrocosm to the microcosm of you to help you navigate your reality and these times we are living in. I'm tuning in to the Leo new moon on July 31st, 2019 at 8:12 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. I apologize for the background sounds. I prefer filming outside. This is my favorite local spot, and that's what's happening now. So just lean in, tune in, and listen well to what I have to say. And I'm going to show you the chart and show you the key aspects, the technical pieces to this Leo new moon before I actually launch in to the intuitive messages I'm receiving and I'm seeing, the perceptual messages of this time, to help you understand how to work with yourself and your own energies and the things that you're dealing with creatively and your projects. This is about your creative reality and living life to the fullest. And one of the key things of this time is accepting what is. That's a key aspect to moving forward, is accept what is and accept to understand, to help you understand what you can change, release, attempt to control things that are out of your control, and control creatively what is in your control. And it's a heart-centered control. It's not a egotistical control of wanting to overpower other people and not accept their power and authority. This is about moving forward with respect for other people and with compassion and a feeling of empathy. So before I move forward into this Leo new moon, we're moving out of this Leo new moon is taking us out of the eclipse, intense eclipse energies of July that were initiated through the seed point of the total eclipse, solar eclipse, new moon in Cancer on July 2nd, and that happened at 11 degrees Cancer. So this was a very emotional eclipse of endings and beginnings and endings. So the theme there is wrapping up any soul story, opening, however the wrap up happens, where you're opening up to yourself, you're opening up to your emotional reality, your own subjective personal story, understanding how you've been holding trauma and allowing the drama to persist, changing your story from a victim story into an empowered story, and really claiming the hero's journey for yourself and your own uprising to claim who you are. And so that moves us into this field of the Leo new moon that we're now in. So we're integrating right now, given that this very moment where I'm inside of the dark moon in Cancer, and the dark moons always precede the new moons, and there are key times for integrating the recent past and the recent cycle, the most recent cycle, integrating what needs to be integrated, the wisdom, what needs to be let go of, what needs to be pushed into, and so as you're walking forward and flowing forward into your future, so it's an understanding of how to move forward. And so the technical pieces of this new moon, I'm going to show you the chart. And so what I'm tuning into first, we are in a basic tri-cluster chart formation, which means there's a triangulation happening between clusters of planets. So this is the conjunction cluster, all the planets coming together through a conjunction, and the key conjunction is the sun and moon conjunct to form the new moon seed point. And the sextile that's forming between Neptune and Vesta, Neptune and Pisces, the dreamer, the muse, and Vesta, who's about focus and integration as well, and presiding over your life tasks in the world in the sign of Taurus, so grounding you in your dream tasks to help you activate your dream. And then we've got a square, so I'm calling this the square cluster. This is the sextile cluster, and this square cluster is being squared off between Pallas Athene and Pluto. So there's something to push through. It's very, very much a part of the ending that needs to happen within your own mind, because Pallas Athene and Pluto, when used in an empowered way, have to do with untwisting a great psychological twist of your victim's story to claim your true power and plow through your mind, plow through your brain, your plasticity, and create new neural pathways for you to claim your inner domain and form new powerful new links within yourself to move forward with your creative projects. And those creative projects are inspired on the outside of the things that are happening in the world, and also inspired by the inside in your inner dream reality. So these are the key points. Again, the conjunction, the sextile between Neptune and Vesta, and the square between Pluto and Capricorn. Another key thing to remember as well is that every new moon is activating moon phase 1. Moon phase 1 is ruled by Saturn. So Saturn forms a key energy here as well. And there's a lot of other things that I'm not showing, but will so be revealed through my attunement to the chart. And these are the key energies within the clusters. So there we go, the technical pieces. And I've already kind of pulsed what the essence of what we're moving into right now through the July 31st activation of the Leo new moon. So now the key aspects to the Leo new moon, the key aspects here, we have one of the key energies of this time is we are going to make some changes. It's time to make some changes, time to make some adjustments. The first thing that happens out of the gate of the seed point of 8:12 p.m. with the Leo new moon forming at 9 degrees Leo, and that degree essence has to do, the degree frequency of 9 degrees does have to do with riding your own wild edge. Your own wild edge of creativity and what it means to be you, and claiming your heart. And we're still in a big territory of reviewing your emotions, your psychological health, and clearing up unhealthy emotional patterns. Within this new moon chart, Mercury is stationed, but still retrograde, and it's getting ready to move direct. So there's 3 planets that change direction in this lunar cycle of the Leo new moon, and it occurs between the new moon and the full moon on August 15th, 2019. And so that, because we have 3 planets changing directions, it speaks to some major, making some shifts in your reality, in your decision-making process, the things that you're needing to decide, make choices, make decisions, communicate to your reality and all the people involved and in your creative project. So first thing that happens, major thing that happens within 46 minutes after the seed point, the Leo new moon at 8:12 p.m. is Mercury moves direct. What that says right there is that it is now time to move forward on our decisions. However, because the energetic of the new moon chart is carrying Mercury stationed retrograde, there's still very much an inward self-reflection. So if you feel that like, oh my God, it still feels like Mercury retrograde, that's why. Because the wave energy, the resonance of the energetic of this chart of this whole month will carry an essence of Mercury being retrograde, and so you'll feel a feeling of moving forward, as well as a feeling, an inward pull to still really examine yourself, examine your motives, examine why you're doing what you're doing, to help you check yourself if you're staying in your heart, or if you're tripping up through your psychological default program of hardening up, maybe being too sensitive, overly sensitive, and in that looking at like, oh wait, I'm holding victim there. I'm not actually standing on my own ground. That's actually my codependency. And so it really is about an inward standing up to yourself. And this Leo new moon energy and that massive conjunction that I pointed out to, what's highly significant about this conjunction first, the conjunction is conception. Astrology is very much metaphorical, and so the metaphor, the energy inside of a conjunction, all conjunctions, is a conception. It's a seed point. It's a new beginning, and this conception that's happening there's a few key energies happening here with the conjunction, but the Leo new moon is being conjunct by Venus. So that really speaks to this energy of claiming your domain, claiming your tribe, all the different ways it is for you to claim your creative tribe, because Leo, yes, it's about your individuality, but it's also about your pride. So pride, the positive aspect of your own inner pride and pride is having self-confidence and a feeling of self-worth and self-respect. And that's also in this exchange between others, and Cancer also is a facet of Cancer, is that's the moat of your emotionality that bridges you between yourself and your world and your tribe, your personal story, how you're holding yourself emotionally, and really keys in on identity. And so keeping that connection to your pride, to your people, to your tribe. And because we've got Jupiter in a trine to the new moon, and this has been happening all year, this is a key year of opening up to a greater philosophy and spirituality of embracing a larger tribe, the largest tribe of planet Earth. So a tribe called Earth. And because Jupiter in Sagittarius very much has a spiritual, larger view orientation, vision orientation. So this conjunction that is the most important aspect of this Leo new moon is we've got Venus in a 4-degree conjunction to the new moon at 6 degrees. It depends on how you look at it. So 5 or 6 degrees Venus, and I'll just say 5 for all the astrologers who are listening right now. 5 and 5 degrees Leo, so it's a 4-degree orb, very strong for pulsing self-love, love for what you love to do, love for who you are, again, the goddess, that inner self-worth that presides over your own self-dominion through the really positive qualities of the heart. And then claiming, because the moon's in there and the sun's in there, your radiance, your emotionality, your tribe. This is the biggest, the most important theme of this lunar wave cycle. And then we have Mars in Leo and Juno conjunct exact at the very same degree, and they're out further, very much further in Leo. They're at 20 degrees Leo. I round up for all the astrologers listening to me. I round up, so it's 19 degrees in some minutes. I round up to 20 degrees, and that is the degree essence. So of 20 degrees Leo, Juno, and Mars. So there's a very strong aspect of networking who you are, as you're getting clear about your creativity, your projects, and the ways that you want to empower yourself to move forward and push up against your challenges and meet inward challenges. You need to form alliances with other people, other businesses, get help, get assistance, form a network. And there is a whole large network of support and services out there with any issue that you have in the ways in which you need assistance. So this is a multi-level networking. And again, it's whatever issue, whatever thing, whatever creative project you're working on. And it could be just like, I need a therapist, I need a physical trainer, I want a fitness trainer, I need help understanding whatever it is that you're wanting to move forward in and move to a new level with. I need help. So access your environment, access the greater network in any way that's possible for you to help you with your creative projects, and take action, because this is a month of taking action with what you want. And with, again, Mercury retrograde, it is going to be moving forward, and so there will be a moving forward. And with the North Node in Cancer, there's still very much a review, keeping yourself clean and clear, continuing to clear up any emotions where you get stopped, blocked, and return to any default programs that are really you getting overly defensive or overly hardened or overly sensitive. Because we have Mercury in a opposition to Pluto, we're really in a big year of claiming who we really want to be, claiming our values, claiming the values for the earth. And I do want to speak very briefly to the political atmosphere of what's happening, and it's becoming increasingly evident and important that we claim what we claim what you truly believe in, and what's going to evolutionarily be a sustainable, energetic and spiritual, philosophical viewpoint that really supports everyone is love for one another. And the separation and division that is being absolutely expressed in the political atmosphere of the United States is creating a very clear division, which I'm finding refreshing to see, to bring what I'm finding refreshing to see is that it's not remaining hidden anymore. So it's like, oh well, thank God, now I can really not be confused, and I can also not get caught up in trips around I don't trust this person, I feel like they're lying, because there's some blatant just telling the truth, even though it's a truth I really don't want to hear that person expressing on a political platform, right? Like that's so divisive. And that language, and lacks compassion, lacks kindness, lacks and does engage righteousness, self-righteousness, and engages some really polarizing viewpoints that are viewpoints and actions that are harmful. And so I really believe in a philosophy of, I was actually on my yoga tea bag for all you people who drink yogi tea bag. Teas. My yogi tea bag, I call it yogi tea bag divination. There it is, right there. And before I film this, what I received is, let us be kind and compassionate to remove the sadness of the world. Let us be kind and compassionate to remove the sadness of this world. Love for one another, creating bridges to each other, getting out of our own little separate universes and these ideologies that have been keeping us in an emotional eddy and a viewpoint of, if there's any viewpoint inside of us that we don't live in a safe world. This is about creating a more emotionally safe world where we care about each other on a larger scale. And I fundamentally believe that receiving this wisdom from my yogi tea bag divination, that absolutely activates and engages what I believe the Cancer total eclipse, solar eclipse was about and is about. And so anywhere we are not kind and compassionate, that we really clear that up for ourselves personally, our lives are going to be enriched personally by becoming more kind and compassionate. And it's not to be confused with what love is not. It's also about kindness and compassionate to you. It's not about enabling others. It's not about not standing up for yourself. It's not about not confronting challenging issues. It's not about not saying no. It's about you getting really clear with yourself. Again, we've got this Mercury retrograde time of Pluto being opposed it. So it is about understanding as you come into, as you're understanding your own, the wisdom that is inherent inside of our human psyche, the wisdom that the heart is a semi-permeable membrane. So it's not this open, like, just love for one another, and there's no container. Capricorn needs a container. You need a container for yourself. So it's about, again, the key energy, which I mentioned in my weekly astrology report for this last week, is getting clear about your yeses, getting clear about your nos, getting clear about your maybes, and really using that, if it speaks to you, as a way of coming into integrity with yourself, integralness with yourself, so that you can communicate yourself more clearly. So just check in with yourself, especially, pause. You have to respond. If you have a chance, respond. And before you respond, just, is it a yes? Is it a no? Is it a maybe? And really land in that and use that to communicate yourself. And then also watch how your truth changes, because I do believe truth is a moving target. And that to reconnect with yourself and what's true for you now. And that as you engage in authentic relating patterns of communication, you authentically saying yes, you authentically saying no, you authentically saying maybe, I'm not sure, I'm confused, I don't know. And then that's true for you. You either get heard heard by someone and they receive what you have to say, or there's the twist, the psychological twist, where you start feeling those very commonplace, I feel crazy, I feel it's because you're not feeling, that generally means you're not being heard. It generally means that emotionally you're having to engage into a survival mechanism, a way of feeling and thinking that makes you feel confused and does make you question yourself. And that really what's happening, there's an emotional, psychological face-off with the other person where they're not receiving you, and they're inside of a blame program, and but they're coming across and like they're all clean and clear. And I know everyone knows what I'm talking about. Look up psychological manipulation, Google it, and so that's part of the Pallas Athene Pluto square that's happening there that I showed you. That square is speaking to getting some really clear understandings inwardly and in relationally that will help release you from misunderstandings. And you do have to own up to yourself. I can't do anything about that, the person working on that house. So I just hope you can really lean in and listen to me if that is irritating to you, and if this is interesting to you. So that you do have to do some psychological, absolutely, you have to own up to yourself and how you might have been the jerk. Absolutely. I mean, everyone has been a jerk one way or another. Everyone has been a jerk that comes from not being compassionate, not being empathetic. And it's just really understanding what your pattern is of how you close up and how you want to make those shifts so that you can receive the truth, let yourself really see. I'll own up to those things inside, own up to where you're not standing up for your life, because that's where it gets really complex. And that's what Pallas Athene and Pluto, they're speaking to the psychological complexity of navigating your psyche. And the most important thing it's going to take is self-honesty. And so in that, use compassion and empathy. And if you feel a negative, it's to help you clear that negative self-talk. So as you feel yourself, slow down. First of all, it's important to slow down, to feel, and you use your nervous system and your neurophysiology, your physiology to help you track yourself. And so you start feeling your heart beating, and you're going into some sympathetic nervous system, which is engaging fight or flight, and your cortisol is increasing. It's like you have more knowledge, more understanding, like, oh, wait a minute, I'm stressed out, I'm freaked out. I need to breathe. Okay, and do I have time to check in with myself? It's not actually a situation I need to run. If you're not in that kind of situation, that you just connect in with yourself. How am I feeling? And just I'm so angry right now. Whatever those feelings are, and they just lead you in a layered self-connection to getting to the bottom of something for you. That's what Pallas Athene and Pluto, if you use that to the best of your ability and understanding, it's going to help you release yourself from some psychological torment where you're actually not claiming your power and authority and not showing up in your relationships fully. So as you release that, that means you're claiming your power and authority, you're showing up more fully to your life and to your relationships and all the ways that you're in relationship. And if it's not totally clear to you, we're in constant relationship, that everything about life and existence and being a human and having a human experience is being only in relationship to everything. If I need to go into that, I will. So please ask me if you'd like me to describe what I mean more, and in the comments below, and I will in another video. So that's really important. This is a key month, because the primary issue that's up is this Leonian time that we're in. Again, it's a fiery impulse of your true self, of your core self, of engaging where you need to stand up inside of yourself and with more courage, with more willingness. You're resuscitating any willpower, working on your willpower. We've got Mars in Leo, again, Moon in Leo, the Sun in Leo. So these active, young, outward, masculine principles, Mars and the Sun in Leo. But we also have the feminine principles in Leo, the Moon and Venus. And Mercury, which is androgynous, it's in the sign of Cancer. And again, stationing to move retrograde on the very day 46 minutes after the Leo new moon, with the North Node in Cancer for another year. So that then getting down to this, the other aspect to this new moon that's inside, that's activating us to tap into who we are, to join the circle, to claim the domains that we belong to claim our creativity in all the ways, you know, maybe creating some kind of circle, creating some kind of tribe, being a leader in that way, or joining and becoming. It's also a year of starting something new, doing something you've never done before, Jupiter and Sagittarius, and this new moon supports it as well. It's time to go into those arenas that you have been feeling maybe a little bit meek, maybe a little timid, maybe you've been putting off and postponing, and step into them. And of course there is that time management as well, and considering, because we've got the Saturn-Pluto retrograde conjunction, that there is the really understanding what you have time for and what you don't have time for anymore. And the very key thing as well is to, like, wow, I don't have time for ignorance anymore. I've got to educate myself more on this subject. I don't have time for that anymore. And so that you can be fully responsive to these times, and in the way these times are activating you and activating your purpose. So I do believe a lot of us are going to get clear about what our purpose is, and why we were born, when we were born, and why we are living through these times. And it is the key aspect to this year of 2019 and 2020 is that we're inside of a Saturn-Pluto conjunction that comes into its exact conjunction on January 12th, 2020. 2020 is a major year. The last time Saturn and Pluto came into a conjunction in Capricorn was in 1518. They conjunct in Capricorn once every 500 years. So that's hugely significant. And so that really speaks to standing up to this opportunity that you have to become more of who you are, to stretch yourself. And that's going to take acceptance for what is happening in these times, and also gain more emotional neutrality. That's what another aspect to. So Saturn in Capricorn is the guardian of the new moon, because every new moon is moon phase 1, and moon phase 1 is ruled by Saturn. So it presides over the energetic of moon phase 1. Where Saturn is located and by what sign, what degree, is really important, and that really speaks to how we are driving that lunar seed point energy into each new moon. So Saturn stays in a sign for 2.5 years. So for about 2.5 years, we have that similar key issues of what we're learning how to do personally and how it contributes collectively to the collective lessons. So Saturn being in Capricorn is teaching us to inwardly stand up within ourselves, to time management, what it's time for you, what it's time to end, what you're at your wit's end about. I can't take this anymore, and all the ways that's going to help you make some changes, and is a part of these great changes we're making personally, to claim our individuality and come together collectively in ways that will help support bringing new values onto the planet, into a much more effectiveness, and to also be people who are understanding, like, wow, we are the ancestors of our descendants, and we're alive now, and we can really drive the future. And by the power of numbers, coming together with your values, and I truly believe in sustainable values, healing values, and those ideologies that are getting us out of these emotional, psychological places of where I feel that there's a tremendous amount of ignorance and a tremendous amount of self-avoidance in the belief system that does not engage a wider world view of love for one another. So any ideologies that really separate and hurt other people, and hurt other, then create a tremendous amount of division, and also a lack of care for the earth, and that's just going to keep taking us down a really negative road, and there's a lot of us that are not up for that anymore. And so the Neptune, so now to move down to the sextile that's happening in this new moon chart between Neptune and Vesta. This is about you, because Vesta has a personal connection to, what do I want to focus on? What are the things I want to create? And there's a real practical piece to the energetic of Vesta. And being in Taurus, Taurus has an underlying fire, like it's secondary elements. Some of you have heard me speak to the primary element and then the secondary element of each sign, and the primary element of Taurus is earth. The secondary element of Taurus is fire. So it rules over your own spiritual self-understanding, your self-concept. And so because it's Taurus, it's very sensual. It can also be unconscious because you just feel it in your body. It's your own body wisdom. And the ways in which you're wanting to connect in with your dream and connect in with your sensuality, your diet, your home environment, creating beauty. If your diet does not help you feel beautiful, change your diet. What diet supports you to psychologically feel good about yourself? Also change your environment, have more beauty in your world because of Taurus. And it's a very sensual sign. If you're feeling disconnected from your body, another energy of Taurus is your muscles and your body, and engaging some kind of physical fitness that supports you and is right for you and helps you feel strong. It helps you engage a positive mind. And so let me go into that. I received some wisdom about who Mars is and who Mars is for each and every one of us, and that Mars is key when it's underactivated. If you're not doing some kind of exercise, if you're not doing some kind of things that are pushing on your muscles, your blood, and energizing you, then you become asleep to the spiritual laws of Mars. Mars is your inner hero. Mars, in order for you to activate your Mars, the spirit, and receive the wisdom of what Mars has to teach you, your own Mars, you need to engage into some kind of physical activity. It just has to be right for you. So that's part of what this month is about, is find those things that are right for you in whatever state that you are, that you're doing some kind of mind-body practice, and that's martial. And so Tai Chi has a martial aspect to it. You're moving, you're using your breath, you're synchronizing your body, mind, your emotions, your intellect, and that's how Mars engages itself in a positive way and helps you stay uplifted. So it is about finding practices to help you stay uplifted, and they're going to be a combination of stationary, relaxation and activity. And I really believe whatever state you're in your life, maybe you have a physical challenge right now, and there's finding some way to engage whatever physical therapy you need to be engaging in. So that's part of the self-acceptance of where you're at physically, and doing what you can, and finding out what's possible for you. Because again, Jupiter's in Sagittarius this year, it is about challenging what you think is impossible and seeing actually what is possible. And so changing your own philosophies, being open to changing your philosophy to, wow, my brain is plastic, and tune in, learn about neuroplasticity and changing your mind and claiming the dominion of your mind, of your mental state, your emotional state, and also using your physicality to help you synchronize yourself and create more empowerment. And so with Neptune and Vesta sextiling each other, there really is in an exact sextile. So Neptune's at 19 Pisces, Vesta's at 19 Taurus, and it's about you finding what feels good to you and what's right for you. And you will have to stretch yourself to find them, because Mars is squaring off with Vesta, and it's in conjunction, challenging aspect to Neptune. So it is important. You're going to have to push. We're going to have to push, each and every one of us, in our own way. And I think I'm about to wrap this up. I do want to speak very briefly to the full moon that happens on August 15th. And so on August 15th, the full moon of this Leo new moon seed point, the full moon's carrying the energetic of the new moon at 9 degrees Leo. And the full moon on August 15th, we will have had 3 planets move direct by then. So the full moon chart will we'll have 3 planets changing direction. Mercury moves direct, Jupiter moves direct on August 11th, and then Uranus moves retrograde. So by the full moon chart, we will have Jupiter direct and Uranus retrograde. And in this chart, the sun and moon, the new moon is squared very tightly with Uranus and Taurus. So that's speaking to a revolutionary aspect. And because it's in the sign of Taurus, it's about making your life more simple. And so you becoming yourself and understanding the simplicity of being yourself is there to help you essentialize yourself and revolutionize your life. And there is a revolution of moving into simplicity that is also part of how a key aspect to this month and the energetic of this time that we're living in. So of course there's lots of other things I can speak to. So this full moon is exactly on the 15th, is exactly conjunct Venus at 23 Leo. So the full moon, again, are always oppositions. The moon's going to be in Aquarius and the sun's going to be in Leo, and the Venus is exactly conjunct the Leo sun, and it's pouring into the energetic of the Aquarius full moon. So receiving the fullness of the sun and Venus in exact conjunction, that in and of itself begins another new cycle with the sun and Venus coming into a conjunction, initiates a new cycle. And so that's significant as well. We're going to be inside of this new cycle, this lunar month cycle. We get another new cycle of the sun and Venus coming into conjunction, and in the sign of Leo, that will carry on through this is the point in which Venus becomes the even star and moves out of being in the morning star. So that's essentially what's happening on August 15th, is Venus moves behind the sun. The sun will become the first planet to rise up. I hope I'm saying this right now. Yes, I am saying it right. So yeah, it's the transition from Venus being the even star to the morning star to the even star, even star, and that's significant. So it's powering up our self-respect, our self-dominion, our self-love, who we are, who's our part of our pride and our tribe and the tribes you want to belong to. So let's say you want to become something. That's part of what it's going to help you. Like, I want to become that. I want to, I've got a little bit of pollen floating around me, and so I tend to itch right around here because it just starts to itch. And so anyway, so you want to start something new, and you're becoming a part of that circle of people who are interested in those things. So that's a really important piece to this moon cycle that we're coming into, and I believe that is it. That's all that I want to say. And yeah. So there you go, everybody. Check out all my videos below if you're still with me. I appreciate it so much. I appreciate beautiful comments. And if you're interested in a reading, email me at starpoweralchemy@gmail.com. Please subscribe to my channel if you're new. And I am in a building phase. This is a new year for me, and I started off my YouTube channel, so I'm learning how to do YouTube and my life, and there is more coming, especially through the fall in 2019. So thank you so much, and until the next time.